Hey everybody, welcome back to High Tech. In a past episode, we explored the Digital Energy Expo in Shenzhen and got a glimpse of the future of green energy, especially solar panels and energy storage technology. Today, we're going to take a deeper dive into green tech by visiting a state-of-the-art solar panel assembly factory in Dongguan, a city close to Shenzhen. The company specializes in solar panels that are lightweight, flexible, and portable. I was invited to tour the factory a few months ago when I met the company's general manager at a camping equipment expo. Before I head to the factory for the tour, I want to talk about solar panels and solar power in China and the world. I think China often gets an unfair reputation as the world's biggest emitter of carbon dioxide, which is an oversimplification of the issue. China is at the forefront of lowering the price of solar power and solar panels. Furthermore, the average per capita CO2 emissions of China are much lower than Western countries. In 2023, China was technically the world's largest emitter of CO2 when looking at total annual CO2 emissions. China emitted 11.9 billion metric tons. The US emitted 4.91 billion, the EU 2.51 billion, the rest of Europe 2.48 billion, Asia, excluding China and India, 7.635 billion. Different metrics tell a different story. If you break down CO2 emissions per person in each country, the story changes considerably. Per person, China is not in fact the largest emitter of CO2. Far from it. Per capita, the biggest emitters are found in the Middle East. Qatar is the highest at 38.8 tons per person. Australians emit 14.5 tons each year. Americans emit 14.3 tons, and Canadians 14 tons. Per capita, China only emits 8.4 tons per year. Now, if we use a historical perspective that begins with the Industrial Revolution, it becomes clear that China has not emitted anywhere near as much CO2 as the United States or Europe. Europe and the United States, with just 13.5% of the world's population, are responsible for a disproportionate 55.35% of historical CO2 emissions, underscoring their outsized role in causing climate change. In contrast, China, which represents 17.5% of the global population, has contributed only 15.39% of cumulative emissions, despite being the largest current emitter. When we look at historic emissions, the idea of climate justice becomes crucial. This principle argues that countries have contributed unequally to climate change and benefited unevenly from the industrialization that drove it. This inequality highlights the urgent need for industrialized countries to cut emissions faster and support the global transition to renewables. China is technically still a developing and modernizing country, something that is hard to remember when you're in a technological powerhouse like Shenzhen. One could easily argue that climate change is not a burden China or other developing countries should have to address. Yet today, China is taking a lead in addressing this global challenge. Through its dominance in solar panel production and investments in renewable energy, China is demonstrating a commitment to sustainable development that many wealthier nations have struggled to match. In 2022, 77.8% of all photovoltaic modules produced in the world were made in China. The US only produced 1.9%, Europe 0.6%, and Canada 0.4%. China also had the world's largest photovoltaic capacity in 2023, 649 gigawatts. This is more than the rest of the world combined, which only had a capacity of 356 gigawatts. The US only had a capacity of 174.8 gigawatts, even though it's said to be the richest country in the world. What's up with that? China also leads in terms of new PV capacity additions, which is quite admirable considering the speed at which climate change is unfolding. In 2023, China added 235 gigawatts of capacity. The rest of the world combined only managed to add 52.6 gigawatts of capacity that year. With all this information in mind, let's take a closer look at one of the solar PV companies making the future of green technology a reality. Ray,
Good to see you again.
good to see you too.
We are the Shenzhen's company. Now our manufacturing in Dongguan, as you can see. So our parents' company is called Death Solar. We are the manufacturer specializing of the manufacturing of portable solar PV panel.
All right, so you've told me a lot about your automated factory, 95% automated.
Yeah.
Right, so I'm super excited to see it.
Let me show you first.
All right,
Okay.
let's go. All right, so I've got to say these robots are probably the coolest thing in this factory, right?
Thank you a lot.
Yeah.
Now, as you can see, these cool things, robots, they just do the grab things, grab the flexible portable solar panel in this way to the other side to put on flat. This machine make more sophisticatedly and efficiently.
You can see it like cutting the edges off.
As you can see, this is flexible portable solar
Yeah.
panel.
I
And
can
this
pick it up.
power is 100. You can take it.
Okay.
You can try that. Yeah.
Wow, it's super lightweight and it's
Yeah.
like super flexible too.
It's super flexible. And this is 100 watt, and you can see the fuel cells.
Yeah.
And easy to get. And this stuff is for the RV, for the vehicle, put on the roof of the top.
So Ray and I just finished a tour of their really cool factory. And so I wanted to ask you, so that stuff is basically all B2B, right? Business to business.
Yeah.
So what are your company's plans for the future? Are you going to start trying to sell stuff directly to consumers?
We plan more of the product for the client. As you can see, here things. This all the solar PV backpack, and here is all the stuff of the client.
I really like this backpack right here. I think these will really catch on because I know in China at least like people rent
Yeah, they rent the power
the
bank.
power banks all the time, and so I think you buy this once, right, and you'll
don't
never
need
have
to
to get a power bank again.
You can see these things. You can catch it. It's really lightweight.
Wow,
Right? It's foldable.
it's like light. It's lighter than a book. So how quick will it charge my cell phone?
3 hours.
Can we give it a try?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, let's go outside.
We use the Type-C. We do the quick charge here.
Okay. All right, so we're currently at 86. So let's see how much juice we can get in a few minutes.
You can see it's already be charged.
Yeah. So my phone has been charging for maybe 10 minutes and it has gone up 4%. And actually the sun
It's
set
so big
below
up.
the
Yeah,
building.
yeah.
So it wasn't like charging at full capacity, I
Yeah,
suppose.
yeah.
But it's really cool. I've never charged my phone with a solar panel before.
Thank you so much.
So one thing I'm curious about, what sets your products apart from maybe other solar panel manufacturers?
So our advantage is first you can see it's got a good look, right? It's all cells had the black things. Also we got backside the controllers. We produce this on our own.
Oh wow.
Yeah, this
In-house.
is patent.
Oh wow.
Yeah, it's our patent.
How durable are these? Like, can you drop it?
Yeah,
and
you can drop it, and also IP65 or waterproof.
Waterproof,
You can use that to 10 years to 15 years.
10 to 15 years.
Yeah.
Thank you for joining us today. We've seen some really cool products at Top Sunlight. I think the utility of these products is super apparent. I think this type of technology is going to be really important to helping fight climate change and transitioning to a greener future. And it was really a pleasure to be able to see this and to show you guys. Don't forget to like and subscribe to High Tech for more tech adventures. Until next time.
iShenzhen, be your eyes.